Yeah, hello and welcome to everyone. My YouTube channel, Data for with Khan. So today we are going to discuss about. I will show you about the roadmap of generative AI, or how we can do the mastering in the generative AI, or things to required, or things required to master generative AI. So let's we can begin with this particular thing. As these particular things, I will try to explain it about this particular thing so that you will get the exact idea about like how we can do the mastering with generative AI. So let's I can take this particular opportunity to explain with all of you so that you will get the better understanding and better idea about how we can do the mastering with the generative AI. So because generative AI is something about that current scenario, it's a lot of booming. So I'm looking towards and elaborating this particular stuff so that anyone can follow this particular playlist and can go ahead and perform that different practical implementations, different theoretical concepts. So the step by step I will explain about all the things, like what are the things to required so that anyone can do, because gen AI is something like it's for everyone. It's not about any particular domain concepts or domain fish, so that anyone can come and have it about the generative AI. So let's we have to see that mastering about generative AI, mastering generative AI. So let's we can begin about this particular thing because very important. Before you should understand, let's I'm going to divide the generative AI into few parts. So generative AI is something I can divide it into so further part. The first one is one of the most important about like the prerequisite, because if you are not familiar with the prerequisite about or the prerequisite about the what actually things is important to understand the fundamental of the gen AI, obviously it will be a very difficult to understand or very difficult to crack the interviews as well. So let's I can write about that particular things. Prerequisite prerequisites, it's very important. The first one is very important about I can talk about that is very important is about any framework or any programming language is very important. Python. Why I'm talking about the Python? So the benefit of the Python is it's an open source, easy to learn, easy to understand, easy to deliver, easy to develop lot of stuffs on one single language. So obviously the Python will play a very crucial and very important role about like a lot of organizations like Meta, Google's, they are working with the models, LLM, lot of different LLM models, or it's as a multi models about like there is a text to text generating, then text to image generating, image to text generating are going to be happens. So a lot of organizations like Google, Meta, Apple, that all are in a competitions to create LLM models, which will be a multi-model kind of a concepts. And Python will be a very important role, because whatever the things or the script is we are going to write uh, for the generative AI or to creations of our own LLM models, obviously Python will play a very important. Obviously, the other languages are also there, but Python is one of the core concepts we can consider here. So so you can see that about you can always remember it that it is a must. And second, I can talk about the statistics. So why I am talking about the statistics? people are always talking about I'm a very good in machine learning, I'm very good in a deep learnings or a different scenario. But without statistics, believe me that you are not going to crack any single interviews of a data scientist or the machine learnings, whether it's a AI based interviews or any kind of interviews. So statistics is one of the core concepts. Like you will understand the fundamentals, like the predictive modelings. You will understand whether the data is properly distributed or not. So whether you learn about the descriptive statistics, inferential statistics, all are the terms or all other things are very very most important. So please take a note of that particular things in the prerequisites. Obviously, uh, the statistics is the second. You should aware it. You have that fundamentals of that particular things. If you can see that a lot of favorites questions during because I personally face during the interviews time, like the statistics questions are always there, like people are talking about like you have to just go ahead with the normal distribution, because these are the core concepts. Like if you're talking about the linear regressions, the basic or the traditional machine learning algorithms, obviously statistics play a very very important, like mean absolute error, cross validations. These all are the aspects which are very very important for the machine learning or for the generative AI point of view as well. So statistics will play a very major role here. So just remember about that statistics. Now third thing is, now I'm talking about the third one is NLP or the computer vision. Computer visions. But let's I can talk about this particular thing so that you will get a little bit understanding about this, why these two things are very very important. Let's I'm going to erase this particular things. Instead of the computer or NLP or the computer visions, I can write about this multi-models, because the organizations are moving towards about the multi-model. Instead of why multi-models, I'm going to elaborate you about this particular things. Multi-models. Multi-models, see, if you're talking about there is LLM models and LIM models are there. So companies are coming with the multiple models about like many people's like to specific work with the LLM models. Someone likes the LIM models as well, as about that particular thing is like the text to text, as I already explained about that particular stuff. Text to text, then we can talk about the text to image or image to text. That kind of a stuff is required to multi models. So I can talk about multi models here. This will be my base. See, if you are too much interested in the text or in the about this particular text gen AI text use cases about that particular things, so for that particular reasons, please remember it about that particular things. Natural language processing should be a very very strong about this particular things. And if you are looking about the text to image generations or image to text generations, so obviously about that particular thing, computer visions will be a very very important part. So computer visions, see, text to text generating the data, obviously in the natural language processing is something you should have the understanding of the bird. You have to understanding about the TF-IDF. Lot of things are there present in there. I will create about the spatial list or playlist for the natural language processing. Those who are looking for to understand about the natural language processing, um, very soon I will launch about the natural language processing playlist as well, so people can follow, and you will get the exact idea about that particular things about the natural language processing as well. But I have a little bit, not little bit, but having a plenty of the things ideas about the computer vision as well. About like computer vision's perspective, I can talk about one thing as the uh, uh, object detections, image classifications, like whether the CNN, all the deep learning concepts we have to evaluate in that particular reason. So obviously, it's not a things like you cannot go and enter about that particular things for your understanding point of view. I can write about here about this something like text to text Gen AI. You have to use about that particular, that is called as a NLP. And whenever you required about text to image, you have to use about that particular, and that is known as a computer vision. So NLP is important, computer vision is also important. So prerequisite is very very important. Let's I can say that if you are interested in the NLP, then what are the things are important about, because if you can go ahead about that particular thing, so NLP is very very important. So for that particular reasons I can just elaborate this NLP furthermore, so that you will get a basic understanding and basic idea as well. So that's NLP machine learnings. I can write about the NLP machine learning, that is a machine learning. Like what else is, like you aware about the navy base theorems, lot of navy base algorithms are there, navy base model is there. You might hear about the one hit encoding, bag of words, word to vector, about that particular lot of things we have to use, text bob methods, lot of things we have to utilize here about that particular things. Obviously if you are not quite familiar with the natural language processing, and if you want to jump in the generative AI, you can do it, definitely you can do it. But the thing is that the understanding of that fundamentals of natural language generative AI concept, LLM models, the concept understanding of the LANGCHAINs, and all the things would be a little bit difficult. So I always suggest that the candidate or the those who are looking to career transitions from one domain to the another domains, obviously you should go through with the prerequisites. Prerequisites is always give you the boost or give you some confidence about the understanding about the Gen AI and the respective fundamental of generative AI as well. And for the interview point of view, those who are looking for the career transitions from one domain to the another domains, like from current domain to the generative AI domains, obviously the most important thing is that the interview process. And obviously if you go through with the prerequisites, definitely 100% you will get the better and boost idea about that particular clearance of your interview. So just remember about that particular thing. That's why I'm more emphasizing on the this prerequisites, because if you are looking for the career transitions, obviously you require the particular thing. So so next is I can take as the NLP deep learning. Now you need to too much understanding about that particular thing, RNN. You have to RNN, LSTM, RNN, GRU, that's embeddings. Of- So the transformer is important. Transformer, I can say that BRT is very very important. BERT is very very important about that particular things. So there are a lot of things you have to go at INN, RNN, LSTM, GRU. So like TFIDF. So lot of things you can go ahead and transformer, BERT. There's all the things you should go ahead definitely and consider this particular things as the prerequisites about that particular stuff. So that is very very important. Please take a note of that particular. Now computer vision's point of view, I can go ahead about that particular things. You need to know about this CNN and object detections. Object detection, then RCN is what about that particular thing. Lot of questions would be comes from this object detection CNN. So only the possibilities is about that particular as the clearance of the interviews on computer vision's point of view as well. So these are the some prerequisites, very very important. Personally, I am too much confident and I have a lot of experience on the NLP of the text to text Gen AI. I'm not too much ideas about the computer visions or text to image. So obviously I will update myself and definitely will come to a better way to present you so that anyone can get the better understanding about the computer visions NLP. So I will also create a one separate playlist, and from very soon, from in next 3 to 4 days, I'm going to create one. So as personally I have a lot of interest on NLP or text to text generative AI. So I will upload a lot of things on that particular things. So let's we can talk about the things required to master generative AI. So obviously I can move ahead and just sit with this particular thing so that you can understand about like what are the things are required here to go ahead about here. So I can go ahead and just uh, moving towards about this particular things like just a second, so that you will get the understanding of that particular stuff. So the second is we can talk about the learning generative AI. Learning gen AI, gen AI. So I'm going to do further categorize this. What are the things is important here about that we have to understand about this particular stuff so that we will get the understanding about. After completing all the prerequisites, you are looking for to jump on Gen AI. So obviously, learning Gen AI is possible. But those who are asking the questions like, can it is possible after or without completions of the prerequisites or without completions of the Python statistics, multimodals of this NLP, computer visions, or these further topics of the NLP of the world, transformers, RNN, LSTMs, can it is possible? So I can say that yes, but for the perspective point of the things, you will always feel a difficulties for understanding of that particular things. So I always suggest that you can go ahead about with the particular stuff. I can say that go ahead and just perform this particular task so that you will get a little bit a better understanding of that prerequisites as well. So I can take with the different colors so that you will get very easily to zoom in. So I just define this particular things here, one line here. So further distributions I'm going to do here. So I can define with this particular. I can say use the same color as well because visualization is very very important whenever we have to learn and understand any perspective things. So like I can use about here about that particular things, like any questions will comes like how it will works or how open AI is coming, or how the what is the concept behind about where the model is capable to learn about this natural languages processing, or how the computer is going to be understand, or how the machine is going to be understand the text images or the text easily, uh, and transform, and you will get that continuous generation. So how it's possible? So if, without understanding the embedding system or database embedding, obviously you will face a lot of consequences uh, during the intervention, because word to vector is you are not covered. What is TF, IDF, and all the things. So learning generative AI is easy. Anyone can do it. So the first things is about that you should aware it about the framework is very very important part about this particular thing. So framework to develop Gen AI, Gen AI app. There is a lot of things are there. That's example point of view. I can talk about that particular things. LangChain. LangChain is there, or I can take with the separately or kept as it is about that particular things. So I can explain with this particular things very easily, so that you will get about the understanding as well. So I can write and here separately so that you will get a better understanding as well. So that's I'm writing here about that frameworks. This frameworks is very very important for the Gen AI perspective or Gen AI point of view. So like the LLM models, LLM models. That's I can write about that particular LangChain. Then I can write about this Llama index is there. Obviously, I'm going to cover all this particular things in my upcoming videos. So that Llama index, Llama index, why the LangChain is very very important and too much famous because providing the open source about that particular thing. So just remember it about that is a very very important. So the Llama index, LangChain is there. I can use about the chainlet is there as well. Chainlet, chainlet. You can use about the Hugging Face is there. Hugging Face. So these are the frameworks is very very important, too important I can say that for the uh, creations of these frameworks, because without frameworks obviously you will feel a difficulties to understand about how it's going to be performed, because you know that in video as well, those who are creating about the videos and all the aspects, obviously it's very very important to create the frames and all the things. So obviously the without frame you cannot go ahead and create your own LLM models, or for your organizations or for requirement of your stakeholders as well. So along with this I can talk about frameworks. I can go ahead with this particular thing is I can go ahead and say that I can say that LLM like multi-models. So a lot of fights are going on with the big giants of the organizations like the Google, the Meta, the OpenAI. So lot like Tesla is also enter in that particular business. So lot of fights are going to happen for the multi models or LLM models to create about the models. So even I can write about the open source as well. Open source LLM. If you aware about the AWS Bedrock, that's providing a multiple models about those who are aware about it. If you aware it, like how it's consuming about the applications and all the things. OpenAI is one of the free LLM. Gemini Pro is there. So Cloudy, then Grook is there. So lot of things like I created. I am going to create about the OpenAI, about Gemini Pro. Then I can say that Grok is there. So this all the things is very very important. uh, and the third one is the most important thing is about like fine tuning, so I can change with the colors. This is very very important. Fine tuning. So For this fine tuning is very important about that particular things like open source, about like the fine tuning is very like the clora and the LoRa of that particular models is so obviously this fine tuning is important about that particular thing, because lot of organizations are looking to specialize candidate who are looks very much in the fine tuning. Fine tuning is, I can talk about the technique is LoRa, as well as this. I can write here about that particular thing is the LoRa is there. These are the open source models are very nice for creating of the fine tuning. So please remember this. These are all the three things like the frameworks, then the LLM models or the multiple models are very important. Then third one is about that fine tuning. So obviously this is one of the most important uh, for open source models. Benefit is what it's we can use for the commercial purpose as well. Only for the deployment parts, obviously you require to pay, and you require to purchase for the open AI like the API keys as well. So obviously that are the very important. If you cannot go for the deployment perspective point of view, then you can use the AWS benchmark services as well as. So that is the way. Mastering in the Gen AI, these are the three things like the frameworks. In the frameworks, that's already I explained about this particular things. If you aware it about this thing, so you can go ahead with this framework: LLM models, LangChains, Llama Index, Chainlate, Hugging Face. These all the frameworks you should go through and master about that particular things. Then you can go ahead with the LLM. That's multi models like open source LLM are present like OpenAI, Gemini Pro, Groove. There are a lot of things is cmand is there also present. The copilot is there, so you can use. There are multiple open AI or these particular open source LLM models are available. Then last one is one of the most concept, and the key concept is fine tuning. Like for the you go for the organizations for the interview point of view, obviously the people will ask about the questions like this is the open source LLM models. You can just create a model about for this particular data sets or for this particular things. So with the help of the open source models, you can do it. You can create a models for the deployment perspective point of view. 100% you need to take care of the some financial things or the commercial things as well. But those who are not looking for the deployment point of view, obviously they can go ahead with the Amazon or the AWS bedrock services about that particular. So definitely you can. So you should do a master of frameworks. I'm going to create about a lot of playlist for the mastering with generative AI. I'm going to create a separate playlist of the LangChain. I'm going to create a separate playlist for the OpenAI, then separate playlist for the Gemini Pro or the Groove. So lot of things I'm going to create it. So just remember it about this thing. Like you should go ahead first with the prerequisites, then go ahead with the mastering with that particular things. So also you can go ahead with this particular things. Let's I'm going to talk about the differentiate here about that particular one things that is very important. Please take a note of that particular things. uh, Whatever things I'm going to talk here about that, you can use about if I could write about differentiate. So you can differentiate about that MLOps. You might aware about our MLOps. Uh, the LLM ops, we are looking to like how the fine tuning process is done about that, and model will getting about or model is going to be created. Like we have to see the inferencing technique. So like the grok we use about that particular things. So it's a open source LLM model is as well about that particular things, because it's very important when we are looking for the further about understanding about the more LLM models or the life cycle of the LLM models. Obviously, LLM ops it will be a play a very very important role. So many platforms are going to be coming up. Vortex is there. You can see that Google Vortex is there. So if you are looking to master yourself without any investing anything, so obviously you can go ahead and just follow this channel. Definitely the video and the playlist is going to be updated regularly basis. So just a humble request that you can go ahead and follow from this particular prerequisites to what are the things are required to complete about this all the things. So hope you like about like how we can go ahead and create about the mastering gen AI about this, and generative AI that's already as separated prerequisites, and the learning gen AI. Python must, statistics must, multi-models must. In the multi-models, I clearly elaborate in the two things: text to text gen AI, that's obviously NLP, text to image, or like vice versa, image to text. So thank you. We'll see in the upcoming videos, and that time we will discuss more about that particular generative AI related videos as well as the NLP related videos. So just follow and subscribe this channel so for better updates about the generative AI or how we can do is the mastering with the Gen AI as well. So thank you so much. See you in upcoming videos.